Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salamu ala Rasulillah. All praises to Allah. We send peace and salutations upon Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Continuing with our program, Deen at Dawn with me, Samih Jad. Earlier in the program, we were talking about the importance of unity, loving each other for the sake of Allah, spending, taking care of each other, just a general conclusion. The Muslim Integrated Development Plan, MIDP, is a unity initiative. And joining us via Zoom, Brother Ismat Mohamed, the coordinator of this initiative, to give us more information about it. Let's welcome Dr. or Brother Ismat. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, Brother Ismat.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you and protect you and grant you more wisdom. And may Allah Azza wa Jal bless all your efforts as well and grant us all sincerity, inshaAllah, to unite the Ummah and to stand for one another. Allahumma ameen. Tell us, Brother Ismat, in the beginning about this initiative, the Unity Initiative, Muslim Integrated Development. What is it all about and to what it calls?
The Muslim Integrated Development Plan was established to look at the work of Muslims. Alhamdulillah, we're doing very great work in this country. But unfortunately, we are not united. And therefore, we need to look at a platform where we can bring the Muslim Ummah together to strengthen Islamic work and the collaboration between Muslims. So it's very important. So if we're taking example, we were doing research and in an area in the area of Durban called Inanda, and there is a subsection called Umziniati, and there's another subsection called Indimosa Village. And there's an Apa that does dawah in that area, and she's got Muslims, people have accepted Islam. Now, the important issue is for us to help her. Is it her responsibility to only do the work, or is it the responsibility of the Ummah to support her in doing the work? Should we all go in and just start assisting her, or should we have a plan in how we can assist her, how we can strengthen Islamic work on the ground and the collaboration between the different Muslims. Muslim organizations have different specialities. Different Muslims have different interests. We bring all of them together and we develop a plan for the Indimosa village in Umziniati Inanda and how we can work together to strengthen Islamic work and the collaboration between Muslims, and how can we uplift humanity, inshallah. So this is the concept of the Muslim Integrated Development Plan, to strengthen Islamic work in collaboration. But we do this by doing research, finding out what we as Muslims are doing, what are our challenges, what are our future plans, how can we address these challenges, and what are our future plans in taking Islam forward in every area of South Africa, in every suburb or subsection of South Africa. But as a collaborative initiative to take Islam forward in every area by developing this plan, inshallah.
MashaAllah, MashaAllah. When this initiative started, Brother Mohamed?
It started about maybe 5 years ago, but we were not that vociferous, so we did not come up because we were testing models and we were developing the Muslim Integrated Development Plan for the areas called Umlazi, Ilovo South, all in Durban. We were in Inanda, Namibia, in Marion Hill, Thornwood. So we were developing pilot projects and we were seeing how it could work. So we were developing this plan and we were bringing Muslim organizations into meetings, meeting them individually and saying, okay, this is what the Muslim Ummah is doing in this area, how can we assist? And alhamdulillah, we had a great success with Muslims coming together. We had Islamic Relief South Africa, South African National Zakah Fund in Durban, We Feed SA, Caring Sisters Network, Human Aid, Al-Imdad Foundation, Islamic Medical Association, and many women's cultural group, Circle of Koka, and many other organizations. I cannot remember all of them because there were quite a few organizations that we did meet, and even Jamiatul Ulama, KZN, to various organizations within Durban that we met. And alhamdulillah, they came together and they started assisting and we started collaborating with each other. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen.
Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Indeed, وَقُلْ اعْمَلُوا فَسَيَرَى اللَّهُ عَمَلَكُمْ وَرَسُولُهُ وَالْمُؤْمِنُونَ. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless these efforts. And indeed, everything starts with research and putting ideas and planning. And we are the ummah of planning, indeed. Tell me, I believe you have developed some kind of draft, and you have identified the following some of the challenges concerning education and skills training. Can you give us some insight about this draft?
If I may just take a step back, the first one we did was, so what happened with the Muslim Integrated Development Plan, say from Lazi, we found that there were challenges with burials first. And we first had the first meeting, which was on burials. And in regards to that meeting, we looked at the issues of the challenges Muslims face in respect of burials. And we found that there were Muslims who were buried not according to Islamic rites. Now, immediately people think they're not buried according to Islamic rites, somebody has to blame. So the problem was that many of these are reverts who accepted Islam, who have families that are not Muslim. And the problem is the families did not want them to be buried according to Muslim rites. There's a misconception that if you bury Muslims according to Muslim rites, the family will not get the death certificate, and then the family cannot claim insurance or funeral policy or anything. So there's a misconception. So sometimes when the person passes away, and even though he has a wasiyat in his will, even though he has the various other legal documents, his ID is according to a Muslim, he has an affidavit, he has a reversion papers, he has nikah papers. But at the end of the day, the family refuse because they have this perception that you cannot claim financially when the person passes away. This is one of the reasons. The other could be tribalistic issues and religious issues, that they don't want a fellow family member to be buried as a Muslim, even though the person is a Muslim. So what we have to do as a Muslim Ummah, we have to develop a plan on how we can address this issue. What is the best way forward? But like that, in certain indigenous African areas, in townships, we don't have, for example, cemeteries, ghusl khanas, we don't have hearses. Now, what becomes very important is what we're developing is currently a plan to cluster the various areas in Durban and to say, okay, let's partner the various areas. If there is a ghusl khana in one area, we can take 2-3 areas and cluster it. And instead of us just developing and setting up these burial services, we can look at collaboration as a Muslim Ummah. If there is a need to establish one, we will. But we need to be very careful that the running burial services is not an easy thing because of the challenge that it can be a problem financially, but also from a legal perspective. So we need to make sure that we understand why we're doing it and make sure we're not going to look at it as an income-generating opportunity, but rather see it as a service to the Ummah, and there is a need. And we cannot establish too many burial services in every area because of the reason that you don't get many Muslims passing away in every area. You know, and obviously the population of Muslims in an area may be very small, and there may be 1 or 2 janazas only a year. We must understand as an Ummah, we're an Ummah, we need to raise the funds, we need to sustain the project, and that's very important. And there's always, obviously, various other challenges in regards to burial services. So what we have done is, the first meeting is where we established the burial services in a task team, and the task team is looking into all the challenges in regards to burial services. What is the next meeting that we intend having is the one on education. So what happens is there are many Muslims who unfortunately may not get help because they need help with education, school uniforms, stationery. They may need bursaries, skills development, empowerment. And the challenge that we have is sometimes there's no collaborative effort. So what we find, you know, when you're assisting humanity, and if you go in blindly and everybody just starts helping, there's no plan in place. There's no strategy in place. There's many areas and there's many people that need help. So what's going to happen is you're going to end up giving one lot of people all the help, and you're going to have duplication, which leads to waste of services, and wastage of funding. And then you're going to have the second part where you're going to have conflict, because in the end, everybody's going to be claiming to doing work in one area. Then again, you'll have, for example, the issue that sometimes if people need educational help, you give them the help that you think they need, not the help. For example, you buy them stationery that they don't need. Or, for example, you buy them stationery, but you haven't done proper research to find out that in the school, they are giving stationery. So the people don't need stationery. They need other support. For example, they need to pay their school fees or they need school transport. So what we have to sit as an ummah is we have to sit and plan and how we can work together to strengthen this issue of working together in regards to education, schooling, bursaries, skills development. And this is very important. And how effective is our programs? Do we have a monitoring and evaluation system? Are we really doing what we intended to do? Because another aspect is, do people really understand the bursary application form? You find many students, for example, who do not fill in the application properly. They do it maybe 50%. They do not provide the vital information. So what happens in the end, they do not get accepted, they are rejected, and unfortunately they turn around and say nobody wants to assist them. But where is the problem? Education. You need to bring them back to the table and start educating the young people how to complete an application form, how to go for an interview when you're going for the bursary, what you need to do and what you need to comply with. But we need to find collaborative efforts. And one of this meeting, inshallah, that you're referring to, will be taking place on the 11th of November. We're inviting various Muslim organizations who are doing education projects, as well as community workers, because the initiative of the MIDP is to bring the imams, the muallimas, the sheikhs, the da'is, the community workers in the field with big organizations and small organizations, with volunteers, with donors, with the Muslim Ummah, and say, let's sit together. What are the challenges in respect of education? How can we, as a Muslim Ummah, strengthen Islamic work and collaboration in respect of education, schooling, in respect of bursaries? And how can we work together? Very, very important. We need to develop an integrated Muslim development plan for this issue in every area so that we can understand it better.
MashaAllah, MashaAllah. After understanding this initiative, amazing, MashaAllah, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward your efforts and grant you success. How can the community be of a help to this initiative, Brother Mohammed?
Say that again, please.
I'm saying how can the community be involved and be helpful to this initiative?
Well, firstly, is the community ready for unity? Does the community believe in unity? If they do, they should encourage Muslim organizations, volunteers, donors to collaborate. We should encourage everybody. We should make a condition that as a Muslim Ummah, we should work together. Because remember, we are raising the funds, but the funds does not belong to anybody except the Baytul Mal of the country, which we don't have registered, but if you consider it, it's the Baytul Mal of the country. And we need to make sure that we use those funds effectively. So what we need of the Muslim Ummah is to encourage Muslim organizations and those that are doing the work, even volunteers and groups, to work together. Then those that are involved in this type of initiatives, for now in Durban, we need to encourage them to come to the meeting. Even if there's people in KZN and they want to come to the meeting, they're most welcome. I don't know whether people are going to travel as far as Johannesburg, but we're taking each step at a time. Therefore, we're concentrating on Durban. However, we have had requests to KwaZulu-Natal, and inshallah, maybe there will be requests throughout the country. What we also need from the Muslim Ummah is encouragement to come to those meetings and to assist. We need people who, it's not only about funding. This is not a funding initiative. This is a unity initiative first, where we need to sit and find out what are the challenges so we can work together. So what the Muslim Ummah needs to do is encourage each other to come to the meeting and to play a role. But if there are those that can contribute intellectually, they can contribute in various ways, ideas, concepts, volunteer themselves as well to assist us with this Muslim integrated development plan, not only in Durban, but throughout the country, then they must come forward, inshallah. And we hope that when they do come forward and they understand the concept, then they can take it to the rest of the country, inshallah. But most important, those that come to the meeting, your intention must be وَاعْتَصِمُوا بِحَبْلِ اللَّهِ جَمِيعًا وَلَا تَفَرَّقُوا. Hold on to the rope of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and be not divided amongst ourselves, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commands us in the Quran. And we need to look at what is the best for the ummah. But we need to also understand that what this initiative is about is, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, when you spend out of your wealth and you want to increase your piety, then spend what is the best out of your wealth as you would spend on others, as you would spend onto yourself. Love for your brother or your sister in humanity as you love for yourself. So how can we come together? How can we collaborate and strengthen Islamic work and take Islam forward in this country, even in uplifting humanity, like in respect of education, schooling, and in respect of bursaries and skills development? So this is very, very important. So the Muslim Ummah can attend the meeting, but very important that they must contact me or my colleague, Sister Hawa Majola. They must contact us RSVP because we have limited seats available and we also provide a meal. So people need to let us know in advance so we can plan this properly.
Mhm. Brother Ismat Mohamed, Jazakallah khair al jaza for this initiative. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept from you, and may Allah Azza wa Jalla let it grow from strength to strength, and indeed with your sincerity and the sincerity of everyone around, inshallah, it will grow from strength to strength. If you may share the numbers as well, so if some people want to contact you, to get in contact, to be of a support, inshallah, can you share the contact numbers?
Can I first say the event is on the 11th of November from 9 o'clock to 1 o'clock at the Al Ansar Hall, 189 West Road, Durban. They can contact at the Huda office at 031-271-3049 and ask for Sister Hawa Majola. They can send an email to info@huda-int.org, or they can contact me, Ismat Mohamed, on 071-419-6186. 071-419-6186.
Jazakallah khair al jaza. Once again, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward you for that and accept it from you, and may it grow from strength to strength. Allahumma ameen ya rabbal alameen. Shukran jazilan, Brother Ismat. Jazakallah khairan for joining us this morning.
Jazakallah to you and the Hilaal TV team. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the entire Ummah Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, may Allah ta'ala be pleased with all of you for the great efforts that you are doing, and the entire Ummah Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. May Allah ta'ala remove all the difficulty and hardship, especially to the brothers and sisters in Palestine and throughout the world, wherever people are struggling. May Allah ta'ala grant us His mercy, His blessings, His forgiveness, and may Allah be pleased with us, inshallah. Ameen.
Ameen ya Rabbi. Shukran jazilan. Barakallah fikum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. This is our dear brother Ismat Mohamed, mashallah. Amazing efforts, wallahi. We were talking earlier in the beginning of the program, and the whole theme today was unity and spreading love and cooperation and coordination, and how we can change ourselves so that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will change our entire condition, and this will happen only when we are united. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept this initiative. Allahumma ameen ya rabbal alameen. We're taking a short break. We'll come back after the break, inshallah.